Alrighty, good evening, everybody. For anybody who's tuning in to this continuation of Doki Doki Literature Club, this game that has taken a rather morose turn in the last episode. Before we actually,
Yes, it was so enjoyable to see you smacked in the face by the wet salmon of twist.
what a twist it was. But before we get started with the official stream, there is something that I want to show you guys. Let me see if I can figure this out. Let's see here. 1 second. Let's see. Well, tell me if you see something coming up on my screen. Okay.
Alicia Grady is happy to see you.
Who's happy?
Alicia Grady.
Ah, well, happy to see you too, man. Anyway, something came up on the screen, right? Okay, so
Yes.
last episode we were greeted with this little scene here. I made some choices that apparently led to this, although I've been kind of debating and wondering with myself. I think that this was basically, the dialogues might have been a little bit different, but I think no matter what I did, this was meant to happen. I think this was something that was going to happen.
Val.
Yeah, that's Val. I think this is something that was going to happen regardless. But anyway, you'll notice here on the screen where Sayori hung herself, there is this in the background. An exception has occurred. File game / script chapter 5 or ch-ch5.rpy line 307. See traceback.txt for details. So somebody in the stream had mentioned and drawn attention to it, and I decided to go ahead and look into it. So with Steam, any files that you have will usually be stored in this path: program files, Steam apps, common, and then the game itself. So given the path, it points us to two separate files: traceback.txt and game / script ch5.rpy. Now, when I go into game, I don't see that file anywhere. Script ch5rpy, I don't see that anywhere. The one thing I do see is this one right here. And if we use a notepad to try to open it, when we do open it, this is what comes up. So we get this. There's a little devil. What?
Nothing. Continue.
Oh. Well, anyway, we get this. A lot of this is just nonsensical syntax, at least nonsensical to me, who does not have an understanding of programming or whatnot. But the top is a little interesting here, and I actually held off on reading this. I haven't actually read it yet. I just wanted to kind of read it with everybody else. So this is what this says. There is a little devil inside all of us. Beneath their manufactured perception, their artificial reality is a writhing, twisted mess of dread, loathing, judgment, elitism, self-doubt, all thrashing to escape the feeble hold of their host, seeping through every little crevice they can find, into their willpower, starving them of all motivation and desire, into their stomach, forcing them to drown their guilt in comfort food, or into a newly opened gash in their skin, hidden only by the sleeve of a cute new shirt. Such a deplorable, tangled mass is already present in every single one of them. That's why I chose not to blame myself for their actions. All I did was untie the knot, made with Ren. Again, I had not read this at all until right now. So basically, I'm experiencing along with anybody else who's tuned in. I have no idea what that means. So, was this written by her? By the programmer? Forcing them to drown in their guilt? I don't know. I'll leave that to interpretation. But we'll definitely go back and revisit that at some point. Anything else?
Now let's go.
Yes, sir.
Now let's go to a literature club with Natsuki and her cupcakes.
Well, there's another one. See traceback.txt for details. So that's this one right here. So this brings up, and again, I kind of glanced parts of it, but I haven't read it yet. So on this, we actually see, I'm sorry, but an uncaught exception occurred while running game code, and at first glance, this does look like standard syntax, programming, whatever. But right here, we see, oh geez, I didn't break anything, did I? Hold on a second, I can probably fix this, I think. Actually, you know what? This would probably be a lot easier if I just deleted her. She's the one who's making this so difficult. Well, here goes nothing. Full traceback. Syntax, 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 syntax. Freezing, freezing, freezing. Then we come to this line here at the bottom. Oh geez, I didn't break anything, did I? Hold on a sec. I can probably fix this, I think. Actually, you know what? This would probably be a lot easier if I just deleted her. She's the one who's making this so difficult. Well, here goes nothing. So it's basically a repeat of what's up there. So that's weird. But yeah, anyway, just thought I'd share that. Let's get rid of this now. This is
that is weird.
It is interesting, isn't it? But
let's
anyway,
play this game.
Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the game. Bear with me just a moment while I load it up.
Yes.
And we will do this. And now we hear that fun, cheerful little music. And of course, still screwed up. Let me know if the picture comes up for you, Will. There it goes.
Give it a moment.
All right, there we go. All right, so if
we
are loading the game, it's we're back to all my other saves are gone. So back to this. I do have a theory.
Yes.
Oh, there you are. We were wondering what happened to you.
Hey, Jess. How goes in? I went into a little bit of the technical stuff, some of the Easter eggs, I guess you can call them, that were hidden in the last session. And I have a theory. I think Monica's the programmer. I think she's kind of like the architect from the Matrix. She seems to know things ahead of time and things that she shouldn't know. So I have a theory that she's like a programmer or something. I don't know. I have to... anyway, let's go ahead and do this. So,
she's a character in the game, dude.
Well, getting back into character... My character has no knowledge or representation other than little flurries of the girl once known as Sayori. So back into character, I've decided that I am going to pursue Yuri, so I'm going to try to come up with words that will make her happy. So going back to that, let's go ahead and continue this craziness. So, what words would she choose?
Big word, big and brooding.
I'd say broken. Yes, okay. Tears, parfait, childhood, explode, disarray, hurt, variance, charm, vivacious. I know I've chosen vivacious before for her. That works. And, you know what? Are you seeing the poem on your screen?
No, I just got the title screen.
Yeah, I noticed that. What the heck? Hang on. Yeah, I just noticed that too. I'm on the poem, so I just was choosing some words.
Is there a delay?
No, it shouldn't be that much of a delay.
No, not at this length. I've got the sound up, and it's already got us discussing the fact that we can't see it.
Yeah, let's see here.
Black screen.
Oh, don't tell me I'm gonna have
and a Val wishing.
Let's see.
To be known.
Okay, in case anybody was wondering, Val is watching the stream.
Okay, cool. Alright, so here we go. Back, I fixed it, and there we go. So, incongruent, misfortune, ambient, play, aura, unstable, contamination, vitality, clumsy, and fickle. I'd say she'd use incongruent.
Fortune, yep. Probably.
Friends, peace, kiss, incapable, existence, effulgent, lollipop, together, color, and covet. I know I've used the word covet for her. Yep. Summer, extreme, desire, cry, judgment, awesome, scars, fireflies, happiness, unrequited. Let's see.
Unrequited.
Unrequited. Okay. Excuse me. Would she use the word? No. You know what? I think she would use the word unrequited. Yeah. Sugar, heaven sent, death, spinning, disoriented, universe, loud, shock, socks, not shock, after image, and pink, disoriented. Yep. Alone, unrestrained. I'm gonna go straight for unrestrained on that one. I'm not gonna use restraint in choosing unrestrained. Yep. Treasure, whisper, valentine, whistle, infallible, joy, analysis, insight, philosophy, pout. I think she'd use philosophy. Yep. Memories, imagination, misery, laugh, lazy, skipping, calm, climax, strawberry, feather. I don't know if she'd go straight for misery. Let's try memories. Anyway. Marriage, jumpy, sensation, frightening, cheer, shiny, cute, rain cloud, captive, entropy. I think she'd use frightening. Yep. Journey, promise, determination, party, graveyard, boop, skirt, puppy, raindrops, infinite. I think she'd... I don't know if she'd use the word determination. I think she'd use infinite. Yep. Eternity, agonizing, vanilla, papa, electricity, destiny, tenacious, vivid, suicide, nightgown. Let's steer clear of that word for for the time. I think she'd use agonizing.
That sounds like a disturbing piece of lingerie, suicide nightgown.
Oh, very erotic.
It depends on how you look at it.
Well, you'll die.
Word is music.
Die the way you always wanted. I mean, never mind. Unending, fear, essence, anxiety, cheeks, question, music, sing, family, and pure. I think she'd use essence. Yep. Anger, clouds, embrace, jump, dark, love, heart, bliss, meager, and smile. I kind of feel like she'd use the word dark, but it seems a little too simplistic. Meager? Let's try meager. Yep. Warm, candy, whirlwind, massacre, sadness, bubbles, precious, daydream, sunset, poof.
Meager massacre. Let's go with that.
A meager massacre,
right.
yeah. Massacre. Would she use the word massacre? Seems a little too.
Jesus, how dark is this chick?
She's kind of. Well, this one. This goes into like horror.
Horror novels about human experimentation. I think she'll find the word massacre erotic at the very least.
You think massacre?
Okay,
all right, let's do massacre.
Here we go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Flying, atone, dream, hair, headphones, kawaii, uncanny. Yeah, kawaii.
Yeah, that's cute.
Uncanny, sticky, peaceful, bouncy. I think she'd use the word uncanny, or maybe atone. Let's do a tone. Yes.
Again. These words, sticky, bouncy, and all I'm still thinking about is suicide lingerie.
Sticky, bouncy suicide lingerie.
Yes, perhaps your husband will get you some suicide lingerie.
Oh my goodness. This conversation is taking some twists that are not...
How does that even work? Is it the support from the neck?
It comes with a red hourglass on the abdomen. Basically, once it's done, after you've stripped it off, the lingerie will secrete a poison that only affects males, thus allowing for the female to be able to eat the male's head.
Okay, so you just mixed a praying mantis with a black widow, but okay.
Or whatever. I don't know insects. I just know that they kill their mates.
I was thinking of lingerie that's choked you. Jesus Christ, where did you get the biological connection?
Wonderful, milk, vertigo, grief, flower, holiday, passion, hop, hopeless, beauty. I think she'd use the word hopeless, and let's do hopeless. No, I don't know. Hopeless or passion? I'm kind of conflicted. Let's do hopeless. Yes, okay. Games, fluffy, melancholy. I know she'd use that word. We'll go with that one. Oh my God! Did you see that? Did you see that?
What?
Her face.
Oh, we're still a little bit behind.
Look, the face. Did you saw it? Like when she jumped, it went like weird. Oh, okay.
Got all super excited.
I've never seen it do that. But I mean, what happened? I didn't see anything.
Okay, you're watching the stream. Just okay. Intellectual, extraordinary, fester, twirl. Intellectual. She didn't do it that time, but adventure, secretive, disaster, lust, hope, prayer, Doki Doki for
Oh, that was on the last page. Sorry.
I think she'd use the word vibrant. This is the last one. Something's gonna happen. Okay, let's do vibrant. There we go. Okay. Nothing happened. Back at school. Alright. Summon the Peter O'Toole here. Hi again, Sushikura. Monica greets me eagerly as I walk in. Glad to see you then.
Summon the Peter O'Toole?
Oh, I'm being sarcastic. You're breaking my character. Come on.
Val says you're going crazy as seeing things.
You saw it. Didn't you? You all saw it.
A lot.
Glad to see you didn't run away on us. She chuckled. Nah, don't worry, I shrug. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. What the hell was that? Damn it. Anyway, thanks for keeping...
Oh, Lord.
See? You saw that. Don't die over there. Then we'll write you out of existence. Anyway, thanks for keeping your promise, Sushikura. Yuri meekly but happily greeted me. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. What the hell?
Is it just me, or is the room spinning?
The room is not spinning, but there's freaky things going on for sure. Oh, come on! Natsuki grumbled as she came in, glitching out like a freak.
No, I'm quite certain the room
that
is
wasn't
turning.
Natsuki. That looked like
Sayori, yeah. I think
Yes,
so.
guys, the room is definitely turning, because if you look at in the bottom right corner, you can usually see the corner of the desk, yet it's not there anymore.
I don't see the room turning at all.
It's not turning. It's not. I don't see it moving.
What's the desk in the bottom right corner? And just keep talking, and then just take a look at it every few seconds.
Okay. Oh, come on! Like he deserves any slack. Natsuki grumbled. You already had to be dragged here by Monica. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. Oh yeah, you're right. I did notice it. It looks like it did jump a little bit. Very subtly, very slightly, but yeah. But if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it.
Oh,
what the hell is that supposed to... I can't say... Monica came in right in front of me. Natsuki certainly have a big mouth. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps... reading or keeps a manga collection in the club room.
Her manga collection in the club room.
Okay.
The desk is almost gone.
Yeah, you're right. Natsuki growls. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature, she screams. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. I'm sorry, Sushikura, Yuri humbly offers up. We'll make sure to put your comfort first, okay? Yuri shoots Natsuki with a disappointed glance. Anyway, now that you're in the club and all, perhaps you might have interest in picking up a book to read? Well, I reply, can't really say no either way. Like you said, I'm in this club now, so it only feels right for me to do something like that if you ask. Wait, Yuri replies meekly as she as she averts her gaze and begins fiddling with her hair. I didn't mean it like that. The music has changed.
I can't hear the music because I can't have the sound on and talk to you guys in the chat at the same time.
Yeah, I know, but the music kind of like went down an octave. But anyway, I didn't mean it like that, she meekly put forth. If you don't really want to, then forget I said anything, I guess. No, it's not that, Yuri, I reply. I want to try to be a part of this club. So even if I don't read often, I'd be happy to pick up a book if you wanted me to. Are you sure? Yuri asks of me. I just felt like, well, as vice president and all, that I should help you get started on something you might like, she says, smiling humbly again.
Don't worry, Val, I see it too. She says, why does it seem like we are zooming in slowly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what Will mentioned at first. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy, she says, beaming a modest smile at me. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you want, she says, again averting her gaze, and she once again picks up the ends of her hair and begins fiddling with them. This is... How's this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you, I eagerly exclaim. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book.
What the hell just happened?
What? Of what?
You're... More. Oh, wait, sorry. I hit the wrong button.
Oh. Anyway, phew, she breathes out a long drawn-out sigh of relief. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now, now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. Yeah, it zoomed way out again. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more, but at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from her reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like it's the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Ah, Yuri mutters. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me and our eyes meet for a split second. She's silent for a moment, but she clearly noticed me. But that only makes her hide her face even deeper in her book. Sorry.
Val says, I swear this better not be a jump scare.
That's what I'm kind of thinking, is because it seems like it's building to that. But anyway, sorry, I apologize. I was just spacing out. I muttered this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, she meekly replies, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? I ask. What the hell's going on with her eyes? Look at that.
Oh yeah, you're right, her eye is
floating up.
Moving.
It's... She...
Okay, now she's starting to look like some sort of weird fish thing.
Yeah, like a lizard or something.
This is Hello, Ayano.
I know who you are, Ayano.
Look, is it still...
It's just the one
It's moving by itself. Look, I'm not even proceeding with the story. Look, it's just floating. It's floating away. There it goes. Bye-bye. Bye. Anyway.
Val says, is that supposed to be happening?
I
don't know. Honestly, the last time we did this stream, everything started going all wonky.
Yeah, everything has gone awry.
Oh, yes.
Yes, Ayano, we all see the eye.
Anyway.
This is kind of taking over. I don't know, maybe.
Yuri mutters. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason, she says as her eye snaps back into place. Just curious how come you have two copies of the same book, I ask. Ah, she says as a bead of sweat begins to form on her cheek. Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday, that's not what I meant, she says, a grimace creeping in on her expression. I mean, I just happened to buy two of them, she says with a sigh. Ah, I see, I reply. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear, she says, beaming that modest smile at me once more. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story, she says with a glee shining in her eyes. Is that so, I ask? What's the story about, anyway? Well... she searches for the right words. I look at the cover of the book. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Basically, it's about the religious camp that was turned into a human experimentation prison, she begins again. And the people trapped there have this trait that turns them into killing machines that lust for blood. But the facility gets even worse, and they start selectively breeding people by cutting off their limbs and affixing them to... that might be a little bit of a spoiler, she says, quickly stopping herself before she can go any further. But anyway, I'm really into it. The book, I mean, she says, as a grimace once again shines on her face. Not the thing about the limbs, she says, turning a rosy shade of red. That's kind of, I reply, it's kind of dark, isn't it? I think to myself. You made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came out from out of nowhere.
Hey, wait, that's different.
Yes, it's a different book. Last time the book was something else, something more philosophical. I don't remember exactly what, but yeah, this is...
But the story is different.
Yeah, no, I know. I kind of wonder if maybe Sayori's cheerful disposition and influence maybe kept these people from, expressing some of their more dark and twisted inner recesses, But now that she's gone, I don't know. Anyway, well, let's continue. Sayori, Yuri mutters. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Sushikuro? No, it's not that, I say with a shake of my head. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so, she whispers. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that...
Al wants to know if you still want to pursue Yuri with her face spazzing out like that.
Who wants to know?
Val.
Oh. I had intended. I'm pretty sure that the other ones have something else. I mean, Natsuki, when she came up, she was, she seemed like she was rising from the sixth circle of hell when she appeared on my screen. So if a floating eye problem is the only problem that this girl has, then yeah, sure. And besides that might come in useful. She could basically be like Mr. Potato Head, stick it under the bed and look for something.
Yeah. Though I doubt Natsuki's a heretic, so... But anyway, just continue.
Anyway, it's just that this kind of story, Yuri proceeded, it's the kind that challenges you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because the world is full of horrible people and we're all worthless anyway. She said as her...
Look at the text. The text is different.
Yes, I know. I can see that. I was about to address that. She says as her voice seems to change in a subtle tone that I can't quite put my finger on.
You guys, the world.
Then suddenly... I'm rambling, aren't I? She continues as her tone seems to return to its original cadence. Not again. I'm sorry, she says, averting her gaze and playing with her hair once more. Hey, don't apologize, I assure her, or offer up. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then, she says. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem, she says, looking through me between two strands of her hair. When I let things like books and writings fill my thoughts, my whole body... What was that? What did that say? My whole body gets what? It went through... Whole body gets incredibly... I didn't quite catch it.
Oh, look. It was just corrupted text.
Oh, okay. I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So, I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange, she offers up apologetically. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I begin to reply, searching for the correct response. I really don't think you need to worry, I assure her. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen.
A missive from Val.
It's a literature club, after all.
Run!
Let's be run. Yuri mutters again, reluctant to look me square in the eye. That's true. In fact, I continue, I might as well get started reading it, right? Yes, she whispers as though I... She says to me eagerly as I think I hear something and see something out of the corner of my eye, but unsure what to make of it. I mean, you don't have to, but what are you saying? I respond to her. She's silent for a moment. A look of nervousness and concern has overtaken her expression. Let me just grab the book. I quickly retrieve the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I ask as I point to the empty seat next to her. I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. She whimpers a bit. Yeah. Are you sure? I ask. You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry, she says again apologetically, once more averting her gaze from me. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in the company of others. I see, I reply. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright, she offers up. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri meant about reading in company. It's as if you feel her presence, it's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing, maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri's in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking down at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry, she says upon noticing me. I was just... God damn it! What did that say? Tell me if you can catch it. I'm just bathing in the feeling...
It was just bathing in the feeling of your body heat. The heat.
Anyway, I hear words seemingly resonate out of the air like whispers in the wind, but I can't quite make them out. I don't know where they're coming from. But once again, I shrug it off and continue. Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do, she mutters in response. I don't really mean to. Sorry, she apologizes once more. I mean... I chuckle at her, at how worried she is at all this. Here, this should work, right? I ask. I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's and hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so, she replies. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so I instead use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page, I say. Here, she offers. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way I can turn the page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? She asks me.
You, Jesse?
To turn the page, she asks.
To come?
What? What are you...
Are you ready for what's to come?
Hush. Let me do this. Don't break the mood. Let me see what happens here. To turn the page, she acknowledges, or she informs me, explains. Sorry, I say with a bit of a nervous chuckle. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay, she offers up. You're not as used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a little bit longer. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, I stutter in response. Thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. my thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches under her own thumb. Hey, Yuri, I begin again. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. Huh? She says with a bit of a grin appearing on her face. No, I don't relate to this character at all, she exclaims. Definitely not. Really, I ask? I was just thinking the way she second guesses things, she says and all that. She stutters a little bit. That's what you were talking about. Sorry. I thought you meant something else about her. Something else, I wonder, out loud? Never mind, she dismisses. We didn't even get that far yet. So, I don't know why that came into my head. She begins to chuckle a little. Yuri, are you feeling alright? I ask as I glance at her expression and notice it to be a little uncharacteristic of her. She mutters as a small frown kind of creeps into her face. Yuri's been a little fidgety ever since we started reading. You can rest if you're feeling sick or something, I offer up. Your breathing is a little... My breathing? She asks. Yuri puts her hand on her chest as if to feel her heartbeat. I didn't even notice, she says. Anyway, I'm fine. I just need some water. Alright, don't push yourself, I urge her. Yuri stands up and practically rushes out of the classroom. What on earth was that about? I'm left wondering to myself. Sushikura, Monika approaches me and asks, did something happen just now? I ask in stunned response. I have no idea. Yuri was acting a little strange, I guess, I say as I shrug. So, you don't know anything? She asks me with a bit of a shake of her head. Sorry, I can't say I do. Are you worried about her? Oh, no, not really, she replies with a smile creeping back into her expression. I was just making sure that you didn't do anything to her. No, nothing, I exclaim. Don't worry, I believe you, silly, she says with a bit of a gleeful voice. Yuri just does this sometimes, so it's nothing alarming. Alright, if you say so, I say, with my voice still mired in concern. Anyway, why don't we start with sharing our poems with each other? I ask. Shouldn't we wait for Yuri? Well, she might be a while, so I just figured we'd get started without her. Is that okay? Monika asks. Yeah, I was just asking, I reply. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. Who should I show my poem to first? Hey, Jess.
Yo.
You want to do a reading?
No.
Why not? Val did one. Ring's done one. Will's done several.
One.
I've done several. I mean, I'm not gonna make you do it if you don't want to, but I mean, it's.
What reading? Are you trying to get me to read the poem? Is that what you're asking?
The reading poem. The poem. When it comes up, do you want to read the poem?
Sure, why not? But it's gonna take a minute to. It's gonna lag out.
Yeah, no. I know. I'm just asking if you want. I'll let you do. Who should she do? Will, Natsuki, or Monika?
I think Natsuki.
Natsuki? Alright.
Okay, and by the way, before we start this, Val says she'll join in the disc if you want her to read one too.
That's up to her. She's more than welcome. Anyway. Alright, so let's start with Natsuki. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. Natsuki greets me with silence. I look on, equally taken aback, not sure what to say. Sushikura, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home, she chides me. What? Is the only response I can stutter out. Harsh, I mutter. What, you expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? She says as she rebukes me, turning her face away and upturning her nose at me. Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer, I offer up. maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put effort into it. We all start somewhere, right? I asked with a shrug. If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Natsuki glares a cold look directly at me. Painful to think about, I ask, with a bit of sarcasm in my voice. She's taken aback, silent, brooding. Fine, she snickers. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway, she mutters. I'd tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough, I say.
I don't have to read a poem after all.
Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Think again.
Welcome, Val. Welcome to the madness.
Let's do this.
Hello, Val.
Hello, my dear.
Hello, hello.
Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid, Natsuki grumbles under her breath. Alright, look, here's Natsuki's poem. Take it away, Jess.
Well, hang on. It
I know.
hasn't popped up on my screen. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek. Cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it.
Superb. What does it mean?
I think she needs to work on her poem a little bit more.
Yeah, that isn't even barely rhymed at all.
And it's a weird meter, that's for sure. Anyway, continuing on. How do I... There we go. Yeah, Natsuki continues to grumble. I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it, I assure her. What? What? She asks in a bit of disbelief. Just be honest, she demands of me. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, she turns her head slightly and crosses her arms. Because, she stubbornly refutes. Everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves, I ask? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly, she quickly and eagerly erupts. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening, she says, her tone softened a bit. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand, I assure. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on wordplay, she offers, as a smile actually creeps in on her face. Like, I set it up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling of the last line. So you did, I assure. I guess more went into that than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro, she says with a newfound air of arrogance about her. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? She snidely asks. Yeah, I guess not. I decide to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki's feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Who should I show my poem to next? Well, there's only one left, so Monica it is.
It's just Monica.
Hey, Val, do you want to read Monica's poem? If you don't want to, you don't have to.
Give me a... Well, go ahead and read it this time. I'll read it next time.
Alrighty. Or, Will, would you like to? Since I'm doing all the narration. Once it comes up, of course. Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Hi, Sushikura, Monica gleefully greets me. Having a good time so far? Ah, yeah, I assure her. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening, she says with a prominent finger raised. Don't be too afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind, I say with a nod. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, Monica continues, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to, I say with a bit of a shrug. She giggles. Don't worry, Sushikura. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true, I concur. I hand Monica my poem. She says with a nod as she looks it over. Great job, Sushikura! I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical, she says, beaming an eagerness in her eyes. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low, I say with a bit of a laugh. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair, she giggles. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism, she continues. Sometimes I feel like Yuri's mind is just totally detached from reality. I don't mean like it's a bad thing though, but sometimes I get the impression that she's just totally given up on people. She spends so much time in her own head that it's probably a much more interesting place for her. But that's why she gets so happy when you treat her with a lot of kindness. I don't think she's used to being indulged like that. She must be really starved for social interaction, so don't blame her for coming on a little strongly, she gleefully explains. Like earlier, I think if she gets too stimulated, she ends up withdrawing and looking for alone time. Suddenly the door opens. Yuri, Monica greets. I'm back, Yuri replies. Did I miss anything? Not really, Monica answers. Well, we all started sharing our poems with each other. Yuri mutters as a worried look creeps into her expression. Already? I'm sorry for being late, she says apologetically. No need to apologize, Monica assures her. We still have plenty of time, so I'm more glad you took all the time you needed. All right, Yuri replies as a modest smile returns to her expression. Thanks, Monica. I suppose I should go get my poem now. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good, I offer up. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see, I reply. Well, let's read it then. Alright, did anyone want to read this, or should I do this?
I'll go ahead and read it.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, let her read it.
There it is.
Okay, it says, hole in the wall. But he wasn't looking at me. Confused, I frantically glanced at my surroundings, but my burned eyes can no longer see the color. Are those others in the room? Are they talking? Or are they simply poems on a flat sheet of paper? The sound of frantic scrawling playing tricks on my ears. The room begins to crinkle, closing in on me. The air I breathe dissipates before it reaches my lungs. I panic. There must be a way out. It's right here. Right there. Swallowing my fears, I brandish my pen.
Well done. All right. She had a poem titled "Hole in the Wall" before, but this time it's different lyrics or different words. If I'm not mistaken. Interesting. So, what do you think? Monica asks of me expectantly. It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay, she chuckles and responds. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one, I ask? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it, she replies, searching for the right words. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly, she continues. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day, she says again, waving the prominent finger up before her. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening! Alright, so I guess there's only one person left to show my poem to, and that's Yuri. Yuri greets me with a bit of a stunned silence. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional, she whispers. Huh? What was that? I ask, not sure if I heard her correctly. Yuri looks at me, silently, questioningly. Did I say that out loud? She mutters as a grimace appears on her face. Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. She stutters again, going back to her trademark twiddling of her hair as she averts her gaze from me. He's going to hate me, she whispers to herself. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri, I assure her. She mutters again. I guess you're right, she says, as her voice seems to return to a normal cadence. What am I getting so nervous for? She tries to force a bit of a laugh. Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have, she asks me. Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Really? I say with a bit of a stunned countenance. Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri asks me. She stares at me blankly, then looks at the poem again. She's silent. Well, I know that, she exclaims. I just meant, She stutters to respond. She trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, she whispers. Okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on all of them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in the new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened, she explains. Once Yuri finds her train of thoughts, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for, she says with a sigh. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things, she said with a smile. She says, beaming a smile towards me. I
call this one.
Okay. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though, she says as she sighs and averts her gaze once more. Biased? How? I ask. She says as a nervous smile creeps in on her face. Well, never mind, she shrugs it off. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine, I say. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, or to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now, I ask? Please do, she eagerly says as she hands me the paper. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily, as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Alright, take it away.
Give me a moment. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. Calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. I go back.
You cut out on a few parts, but you know what? Are the lyrics or the words of this one the same as? Yeah, I feel like there's the same, but at the same time, wasn't her first one longer?
Well, try scrolling down.
No, there's no scroll down. There would be a scroll bar on the right hand side here.
It was longer.
It was right. Yeah, these poems are all different. So I'm waiting for something to happen to kind of set things in motion. But anyway, the graphical glitches or whatever seem to have, you know, taken a bit of an abeyance. So we'll see what's going on here.
You say that now.
Well, I say that now. Yuri is silent as she looks at me expectantly. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting, she apologizes. What? I ask. I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often, I assure her. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Eh? She looks back at me. That's a relief, she says, a humble smile once again growing on her face. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive, I reply. It wasn't too short, she asked. I usually write longer poems. Not at all, I shrug. I'm really glad you liked it, she says as her lips once more curl into a smile. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? I ask. She chuckles a little. Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Sushikura. Really? I ask. I must have totally missed the point, I say as I give the poem another glance over. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture, she continues. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing, she says, drifting off, seemingly losing herself. That's a lot more solemn way of putting it. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way, I respond. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive, I offer up. She says as she snaps back to reality. It's nothing, really, she stutters in response. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah, I shake my head and dismiss. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? She asks of me, blushing as she looks away and begins fiddling with her hair. Yeah, of course, I assure her. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, she continues, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Sushikura, she says, beaming a warmth in her eyes at me. Ah, me too, I reply. I sigh. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Oh, the music's wonking out again. Oh my god! Guys, I just noticed something. I don't think anybody...
Oh my god, the poster in the
yes,
back of the room!
I did. Was that there before?
I don't know.
Do you see that?
Yes.
Is she
Is she hanging herself?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I see it now.
She hung
What the
herself
hell?
in the last episode.
Oh,
And then look, it's the TARDIS right here. I'm just kidding. Now I kind of want to look around the room, see if there's any other little clues and stuff. I need to go back and check, was that there before? I had not seen that.
It was not. That was a calendar before.
This game is... Alright, anyway. Proceeding on. Anything else around the room? Thing we might have missed? No, anyway. Even if they're being nice, even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Monika's writing something in her notebook. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's this language? Natsuki mutters to herself. Yuri replies, seemingly having heard her. Did you say something? She asks. Oh, it's nothing, Natsuki dismisses. She dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks, Yuri replies. Yours is cute. Cute? Natsuki quickly replies, rebukes. Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that, Yuri quickly tries to correct herself. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. And Natsuki replies again, you mean you have to try hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. She scorns as she places her hands akimbo on her hips. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions, Yuri meekishly offers up. Natsuki scoffs. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it, which people did, by the way. Monica liked it, and Sushikura did too, Natsuki exclaimed. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, Yuri coquettishly chimed in. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. Natsuki seems to brew in anger, and Sushikura liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it, Yuri continued. Natsuki suddenly stands up. I don't know. She begins again. I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Yuri snaps back as a look of embarrassment grows on her face. That's not what I... Yuri struggles to come up with words. You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Sushikura appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours, she rebukes. Huh! How do you know that he didn't appreciate my advice more, Natsuki rebukes. Are you that full of yourself? Yuri struggles to come up with a counter. No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. She snaps back in a somewhat reserved tone. Natsuki begins to bubble again in anger. Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Sushikura started showing up. Natsuki!
I've been wondering, as ladies, do you girls actually have arguments like this, or is this entirely the writing of a man?
Okay, women are psychotic, but they're making us seem very bad, like worse than what we are. I'm just saying, and no, that doesn't happen.
No.
Writing of a man, got it.
Writing of a man. Anyway, Natsuki, Yuri chides back as she folds her hands over her chest. Natsuki, that's a little, Monica nervously interjects. This doesn't involve you! Both Natsuki and Yuri both rebuke Monica. Taking out your own insecurities on others like... What the hell? What the hell's going on? What's going on? What is happening?
What? Gas keep clicking.
Oh god.
Keep clicking. Do not adjust your set. We control the volume.
Taking out your own insecurities on like that, and what the fuck?
Look, it's a heartbeat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it seems like a heartbeat.
Taking out your own insecurities on the others like that, suddenly my vision becomes blurred as I seem to be taken under the influence of some outside force. You really act as young as you look, Natsuki. I hear Yuri's voice in my head, but I'm distant from the conversation itself. Me, look who's talking. Yes, I know, I hear the music. Me, look who's talking, you wanna be edgy bitch. This is new. This is new. Me, look who's talking, you wanna be edgy bitch. Edge? So that's the word that offended her? Edgy? Edgy?
No,
Yuri replied. Sorry that my lifestyle is too much for someone of your mental age to comprehend. See, Natsuki replied. Just saying that proves my point, she exclaims angrily. Most people learn to get over themselves after they graduate middle school, you know. If you want to prove anything, then stop harassing others with your sickening attitude, Yuri replies, her tone soft yet angry. You think you can counterbalance your toxic personality just by dressing up and acting cute? The only cute thing about you is how hard you try. Whoa, be careful, you might cut yourself on that edge, Yuri, Natsuki sarcastically replies.
Shit.
Oh, my bad. You already do, don't you? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? What the fuck? Did you just accuse me of cutting myself? Yuri asks as a embarrassed and humble expression grows on her face. What the fuck is wrong with your... What the fuck is wrong with your head?
Don't kick it off now, boys!
Oh my god, this is like a petty cat fight.
It is. Well, keep in mind, this argument, the first time it started, it was Sayori that stepped in and stopped it. So without her influence here, these two are just going at it. So, oh my god. Yeah, go on, Natsuki urged. Let Sushikura hear everything you really think. I'm sure he'll be head over heels for you after this. And Yuri suddenly grumbled and stuttered. Suddenly, she turns toward me, as if she just noticed I was standing here. Sushikura, she exclaims, looking right at me. She's trying to make me look bad, she offers up. That's not true, Natsuki replies. She started it. I can think of nothing more to do but remain silent. As I look on as the two arguing before them, I can feel myself being drawn. Something, a force is influencing me, and I feel strange, surreal. How did I... What the fuck? Okay, somebody read that to me.
Hold on, that is like a delay. Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a minute. I'll go back. Okay, hold on. Second.
Es, how are you feeling?
How did I get dragged into this in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Not like I know
Frankie says
anything
go
about
first.
riding. But whoever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. So of course it's going to be...
Oh, okay, so this is that same when I agree with somebody, alright? But, Val, you asked how I was feeling?
Yeah.
Fine right now. For a moment I was kind of bracing for a jump scare because it felt like that's what the game was leading to. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel because while the game's plot has definitely drawn me in because I'm curious to see what the hell this is all about, I'm kind of getting extremely confused, but I guess I'll just, press on and see what happens. But anyway, I'm gonna side with Yuri. What the hell? Okay, I tried to click on it, didn't let me. The screen light. What the hell's going on?
Get again.
Something's gonna fucking crawl out of the damn screen at me.
I am not ready for this. Fuck this.
Anyway, come on. What the hell?
He is clicking on Yuri and it keeps like bringing the screen. Keep doing it.
It's
your
force.
audience back here that says keep doing
Ah!
it.
What the? What the fuck?
Just keep.
Okay.
Hello, Monica.
Yeah, get out of here. Monica looks at me. She confronts me, mere inches from my face.
She's in front of the text box.
Hey, Sushikura, she says to me, why don't we step outside for a bit? Okay? She looks on at me with a smile, but there's an emptiness in her eyes. Her smile is disingenuous, frightening. Sorry about that, she begins. They really shouldn't have tried to get you involved. It's probably better for us to stay out of this. We'll go back inside once they're done yelling. One of them's gonna kill the other one. That I bet. How much you want to bet? One, we're gonna go in and one's gonna be dead.
Not yet.
Well, that's my prediction. Anyway, we'll go back inside once they're done yelling. She calmly offers up, chuckling a little. Some president I am, right? She asks me. Can't even confront my own club members properly. I just wish I was able to be a little bit more assertive sometimes. But I never have it in me to put my foot down against others. You understand, right? She asks of me, now with a pleading in her eyes. Anyway, if that makes you want to spend less time with the others, then that's fine. I'd be happy to spend time with you instead. Suddenly, Natsuki runs out of the room. She's crying. Teardrops have formed rivulets down her cheeks. She's silent. She quickly runs away. Oh dear, Monica says. Well, it looks like they're done. She forces a smile. I didn't mean it, Yuri says. I didn't mean it. We can hear her, but she's out of sight. We hear her muttering and whispering. I didn't mean it.
The hanger girl's gone. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yuri is rocking back and forth in her desk with her palms on her forehead. Yuri, I ask as I approach. I didn't mean it, she says again, this time more pressingly. I believe you, I offer up in an attempt to comfort her. I have no idea what Yuri might have said to Natsuki, or did. Sushikura, she addresses me. Please don't hate me. Please. I'm not like this. There's something wrong with me today. It's fine, Yuri, Monica offers up as she approaches and attempts to comfort herself. Comfort her as well, I guess would be a better way of wording it. We know you didn't mean it. Besides, I'm sure Natsuki will forget all about this by tomorrow. Completely. Yuri is silent, embarrassed, humbled, saddened. Anyway, the meeting is over, so you can go home now if you want, Monica continues. Yuri just continues to brood in silence. She looks at me like she wants me to say something, like she wants to say something, but she keeps glancing at Monica. You can go first, Monica, she urges. I'd like to stay a little bit longer. I'm the president, so I should be the last one out, Monica says with a forced smile again on her face. I'll wait for you to be done. Yuri is silent. She wants to say something, but she can't seem to bring herself to muster it forth. Well, I'm vice president, so she finally blurts out. Please let me take that responsibility today. It kinda sounds like you don't want me around for something, Yuri, Monica says. A concerned look grows on her expression. It's not that, she urges or insists. It's not that. I didn't get much of a chance to discuss my book with Sushikura. It would just be embarrassing with you listening. Monica sighs. I guess I don't really have a choice, do I? She says with a shrug. I'm sorry for causing trouble, Yuri offers. But what the fuck? What the hell? What did that say?
Oh, no, I'll go back. Understanding.
Did you see what that said at all? Before it put me
All
in...
I saw was jumble.
That's what it said. That's what it said.
What did it say?
Oh,
Oh, it's just jumbled? Oh, okay. Anyway, she'd probably use the word inferno. Kitty, whistle, vivid, whirlwind, waterfall, captive, pure, vertigo, afterimage, journey. She'd probably use the word whirlwind. Yeah. Jump, oceans, vacation, analysis, adventure, frightening, sticky, rainbow, variance, covet. treasure, fun, pain, parfait, grief. How the hell did I get here? The last thing I remember is being at school and Yuri wanting to share a poem with me. How the hell am I here at home?
What?
How did I get here? I don't remember walking home today.
Okay.
You guys are no fun.
Jesse, are you okay? This game might be getting to you. You've been doing it for
For
an
the...
hour and 14 minutes. Maybe it's time to put the game down
And walk
go
away.
outside.
I need to choose the words that are going to impress Yuri, damn it. I think
Oh, dear God. Val,
she'd like
Jess.
vibrant. Yes. Lipstick,
you put
meager,
it down.
vitality. I'm gonna give her some suicide lingerie.
Oh my God.
Vitality. Anger,
Jess, are
sugar,
you
cute,
here?
hurt, effulgent, music, sensation,
Yes, I
clumsy,
am, but
sadness,
my daughter
fickle.
was crying, so I turned off my mic.
Bed, melody, peace, unrequited. Socks, nightgown,
Thank you.
pink fireworks, mouse, disown, starscape, peaceful, spinning chocolate, starscape. Romance, kawaii, play, strawberry, warm, hop, anxiety, passion, heartbeat, desire. I bet she'd use the word desire. Yep. Judgment, graveyard, comfort, determination, precious, shiny, tragedy, melancholy. Puppy, lust, wrath, hopeless, eternity, heart, email, memories, sweet, anime. She'd use the word eternity. Landscape, prayer, skirt, heaven sent, shopping, embrace, philosophy. Destiny, extraordinary, daydream, empty, unstable, jumpy, explode, horror, charm, aura. Extraordinary, let's do unstable. Yep. Sunset, hair, games, twirl, awesome, hope, broken, candy, fear, atone. Shame, secretive, laugh, dream, fluffy, sunny, friends, fester, lollipop, skipping, fester. Wonderful, milk, bunny, time, excitement, agonizing. Doki Doki, boop, summer, breathe, flee, tenacious. Unrestrained, tears, contamination, rolls in canny, essence, swimsuit, massacre, depression, death. She'd use unrestrained. Incapable, scars, cheer, bliss, lucky, crimson. She'd use crimson. Smile, calm, poof, universe, insight, ambient. She'd use ambient. Another day passes and it's time for the club meeting already. Time is just fucking flying by, isn't it? I've gotten a little more. Oh my God! Look, the picture's back. Look.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I saw it.
Who? What is that picture of, guys? Well, what is that a picture of? Why would they have that? That's not an appropriate classroom image, wouldn't you say?
Oh, fuck you! That's my face.
What?
I'm the
Oh,
one who does the the playing innocent shit.
plain innocent. What are you talking about? How is that your thing? I'm asking you, why is that a who is that girl?
That's Sayori or whatever her name is.
Sayori, that's Sayori.
Sayori?
One of the hanging lady.
Hanging lady? Why is there a
Oh,
picture of any
fuck.
Why is there a picture of a hanging lady, whoever the hell she is? I don't know any Sayori, but why is there a picture of her in a classroom? Who is that? Why is she there? I'm gonna bring that up with somebody, that's for sure. But anyway, dismissing that, I've gotten a little more comfortable here over the past couple of days. Entering the club room, the usual scene greets me. Welcome back, Sushikura. Yuri is the first one to welcome me. Ah, hi Yuri, I greet her back. I'm not sure if it's me or if it's Yuri's expression, but the weight of yesterday's quarrel still hangs in the air a little. She stutters to get started. Yuri glances over his shoulder, looking around the room. Natsuki is reading manga at her desk, and surprisingly, Monika isn't here yet. Suddenly, Yuri takes my arm and pulls me to the corner of the room. About yesterday, she begins in a whispering tone of voice. I really need to apologize. Nothing like that has ever happened before, and something just came over me, I guess, she says apologetically. I wasn't acting mentally sound. Please don't think we're usually like this, she says as a sadness creeps into her expression. Not just me, but Natsuki as well. Yuri, I reply, I'm happy that you were considerate and apologize. You don't have to worry too much. Even though I've only been here a couple of days, I could tell something was off yesterday. Maybe we're just a little extra sensitive because it was our first time sharing our poems. But whatever it was, it didn't make me think any less of you. I had already decided that there's no way you could be a bad person, I assured her. And now that you're apologizing, I know you didn't really mean it. She stutters and responds, Sushikura? Don't say those kinds of things so frankly, she says, a saddened look in her eyes betrayed by a forced smile, or vice versa. They make me a little too happy. I'm really glad that you're such an understanding person, and I'm really glad that you joined this club. Everything is a little bit brighter with you around, and sorry, what am I saying right now? She says as she blushes a bright shade of red, turns away, and again begins fiddling with her hair. Hey, have you guys seen Monica? Natsuki suddenly interjects. Yuri exclaims, startled. No, I haven't, I reply. I was also kind of wondering where she was. Man, Natsuki grumbles as she crosses her arms. Yuri, I'm guessing you haven't either? Yuri's silent, trying not to make eye contact with Natsuki. Yuri's clearly taken aback by how calmly Natsuki is addressing her. No, I haven't, she offers up. Geez, this isn't like her at all, Natsuki grumbles as she looks around the room. I know it's stupid, but I can't help but worry a little bit. Yuri's silent. What? Natsuki asks as she notices Yuri looking in her direction. Why are you looking at me like that? Yuri yammers a bit. Natsuki, about yesterday, I just wanted to apologize. I promise I didn't mean any of the things I said, she exclaims in a softened tone under her voice. And I'll do my best to stay under control from now on. So, Yuri, what the heck are you talking about? Natsuki asks, completely taken aback and not knowing where... Fucking, I messed that up. Yuri, what the heck are you talking about? Natsuki asks, completely at a loss. Did you do something yesterday? Yuri asks. Jeez, Natsuki scoffs. Whatever's on your mind, I'm sure it was nothing, she puts forth. I don't even remember anything bad happening. You're the kind of person who worries too much about the little things, aren't you? Yuri's shocked, confused, and worried all at the same time, as reflected in her eyes. She's stunned in silence for a moment. But she stutters. I'll accept your apology anyway if it helps you feel better about it. Besides, it's kind of nice to hear excuse me. Besides, it's kind of nice to hear since I was always afraid you secretly hated me or something like that, Natsuki says with a humble smile. She giggles with a cheery, a toothy grin. No, not at all, she exclaims. I don't hate you. Natsuki continues to laugh. Well, you're kind of weird, but I don't hate you either. Yuri's silent again. Natsuki turns to me. You're still on trial, though, she says, somewhat sarcastically as she smiles my way. Hey, I exclaim. Suddenly the door swings open. Sorry, I'm super sorry, Monica apologizes as she rushes in. Ah, there you are, I greet her. I didn't mean to be late. I hope you guys weren't worried or anything, she pleads. Nah, I shrug. Well, Natsuki was. I was not, she rebukes. Monica chuckles. What took you so long anyway, Natsuki asks, grilling her a bit. Well, my last period was study hall, she begins. To be honest, I kind of just lost track of time. She chuckles nervously. That makes no sense, though, Natsuki rebukes. You wouldn't have heard the bell. You would have heard the bell ring at least. I must not have heard it since I was practicing piano, Monica replied. Piano? Yuri interjects. I wasn't aware you played music as well, Monica. Don't give me more credit than I deserve, Monica said, with a nervous laugh in her voice and a look of concern or worry growing on her face. I guess I've been practicing for a while, but I'm still not really good yet. Still, That must require a lot of dedication, Yuri offered up, so I'm still impressed. Well, thanks, Yuri, Monica said, blushing a little. You should play something for us sometimes, Natsuki eagerly urges. That's, Monica looks at me. Well, I am working on writing a song, but it's not quite done yet. Maybe once I get a little bit better, I will. That sounds cool, I offer up. I look forward to it. Is that so? Monica asks me. In that case, I won't let you down, Tsushikuro. Monica smiles sweetly, leaning a little towards me. I didn't mean any pressure or anything like that, I reply. Don't worry, she eagerly replies. I was hoping that I could share it with you anyway. I guess that's why I've been practicing so much recently. I see, I reply. I'm not sure if Monica was referring to the whole club or just me. In that case, best of luck. Thanks, she says, beaming an eager smile. So, I didn't miss anything, did I? She asks as she looks around the room. No, not really, I shrug. I choose not to bring up anything that the three of us talked about. Besides, Natsuki had already run off into the closet. Tsushikuro, Yuri continues again, grabbing my attention. Since your compliments put me in a good mood, I was wondering if you would like to spend some time together today, she asks as a bead of sweat seems to run down her brow. I mean, in the club, she says, her smile being replaced by a look of worried nervousness. Yeah, definitely, I softly offer up. I planned on that anyway. Okay, she says gleefully as her smile beams again. Can we start now? Let's find a place to sit. Her smile fades as she looks around. I'm being a little too forceful, aren't I? She asks me. I'm sorry, she meekly apologizes, again continuing to fiddle with her hair as she once more turns away from me. My heart just won't stop pounding for some reason. Don't worry about it, I assure her. If anything, it's nice to see you have so much energy. Yeah, she meekly offers up, but I need to try and calm down. I won't be able to focus on reading like this. Take your time, I assure her. Yuri takes a deep breath, then pulls a copy of the book out of her bag. Actually, I have a request, she says, looking at me wantingly. Do you mind if I make some tea first? Not at all, I shake my head. Thanks very much. If there's one thing that can make my reading time here any better, it's a nice cup of tea. Not to mention for yourself as well, she says. Yuri stands up and makes her way to the closet. I follow and watch as she retrieves a small water pitcher from the shelf, the kind with a filter inside. Can you hold this for a second? She asks as she hands me the pitcher. Sure. Yuri hands me the water pitcher and also fetches an electric kettle. I'm going to plug this in at the teacher's desk and then I'll get some water. She walks past me and sets the kettle down on the teacher's desk. I simply watch her movements. To my surprise, the way she moves really contrasts her speaking mannerisms, especially because of her long legs. Yuri appears elegant and methodical. Okay, may I have the water pitcher? She says, turning to me and extending a hand, snapping me out of my wonder-like trance. Thanks, I'll be right back, she says. I might as well walk with you, I offer. That's okay, she replies. You stay here. It won't take long. Pitcher in hand, Yuri hurries out of the classroom. Monica suddenly interjects. Did Yuri leave again? No, it's not like that this time, I offer up. She's just filling up the water pitcher to make tea. Oh, okay, Monica says gleefully. Sorry for the misunderstanding. There's a silence in the room for a moment. 10 minutes pass. Yuri said it wouldn't take long. Something holding her up? I'm bored just waiting here, so I decide to go look for her. Let's see. The most logical place for Yuri to be would be the nearest water fountain. I start heading down the hallway. What the hell am I going to find? And why is the music suddenly muffled? As if the music itself is coming from the room and the doors are closed, so... Anybody still here?
I'm here.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I'm here.
Okay. I'm just like, what the hell am I going to find? So I'm like... I start heading down the hallway. I hear a strange, unfamiliar voice laughing. What's that noise? It's coming from around the corner. Sounds like breathing. Oh, so it's not laughing. It sounds like breathing. A sharp inhale, like someone is sucking the air through their teeth. Are they in pain? I reach the corner and peer around it. Yuri? Oh my god. What the fuck, man? Of course.
Oh
Jesus.
no.
Yeah. Anyway, Yuri greets me with shock and concern. What the what the hell? Okay. Anybody watching the stream want to read that back to me if possible?
It's all jumbled. I'm
No.
not a super reader. I can't read all that fast. Unless you're talking about rewinding.
Yeah, well, yeah, if you can, like, I know Will has sometimes gone back and rewound. I don't know if you guys if you want to try. I think he's AFK for a while. I'm curious to see what all that says. Like, you should be able to, like, just hit the space bar to pause it, and then hit it again real fast, and then hit it again to pause it again. If you want to try. If not, I'll go back to it. But I am curious to see what the hell it said.
Okay, hold on. It's been a little wonky on my end. Okay, start heading down the hallway.
Bear with us, folks. Anybody here?
Okay, hold on. Went way back.
Well, while you do that, I'm gonna go ahead and proceed on. If you're
Okay.
able to find it, and otherwise, no worries.
Yeah, it's like stuck on. Okay, hold on.
It's all right. I'll go back to it. I was at around the 9:29 or the
Hold on.
1 hour 30-minute mark because I've been streaming since 8 o'clock, so it's about at the 1 hour 30-minute mark. All right. So anyway, my head swims for a moment as if a flurry of images hit me in rapid fire succession. Suddenly, I look around and I'm back in the classroom. I'm back. Yuri greets me. I'm sitting back at the desk. I see a water pitcher before her. Thanks for waiting patiently, she eagerly announces. Sushikura, do you like oolong tea? I look around in a bit of a stunned state.
Okay.
Yeah, what's...
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's just a repeat of what, like what's been happening. Like about like 10 minutes been waiting, and then it's just like, everything you just read before she went to go get her water is what happened.
I see.
Super fast.
Alright, cool, thank you. Anyway, yeah, I say as I look around the room a little bit stunned, but still dismiss it as my imagination running away with me. Yeah, I offer up. Anything is fine. Very well, Yuri replies. Yuri sets the temperature on the kettle to 200 degrees. Now it's time to get the teapot. You really do this properly, don't you? I ask her. Of course, she says, smiling humbly. I shouldn't do any less when I'm making tea for others. Even if I'm not an expert on tea or anything. Or, oh no, that's me. Even if I'm not an expert on tea or anything, I reply. She laughs a little. In that case, you'll be even more impressed. Perhaps I will, I say. Yuri fetches a teapot and begins measuring the tea leaves. To my surprise, she even starts humming a little to herself. You must be in a good mood now, I say as I listen. Is that so? She asks me, the smile never disappearing from her countenance. I was letting it show, and you noticed. I was doing a bit of thinking, she says as her eyes drift a bit, and I decided that I would try expressing myself a little bit more. Turns out that it's not very hard for me to do so, when it's you who's around anyway. Ah, I reply. That's great, Yuri. Just don't push yourself too much. You're always worrying about me, Sushikura, she says, clasping her hands in front of her. It's very endearing, she says, smiling modestly. Yuri wasn't kidding. I don't even know if I can keep up with this. I watch her pour a cup of tea for each of us. Sushikura, I have another request, she asks of me. Do you mind if we sit on the floor today? Huh? Why's that? I ask with a shrug. It's a little bit easier on my back. I can read with my back against the wall rather than bending over at my desk. Ah, sorry, I didn't realize, I offer up. No worries, she says, smiling still. I just have back pain fairly regularly, so I do my best to manage it. Is that so, I ask? I wonder why that is. It's most likely because my... Yuri stops mid-sentence. She sudden... a look of embarrassment creeps in her face. She searches for the right words or the way to finish that sentence. Your posture, right? I help by offering the word up. Always hunched over like that while reading? Yes, Yuri quickly acknowledges. I have terrible reading posture. So that's why we should sit on the floor, she says as a relieved smile grows on her face. Fair enough, I reply.
Jesus.
What?
Nothing. I read a little bit more into that, what she was trying to say. I probably
Same.
Yeah, well... I'll go ahead. Oh, this is me. I'll go ahead and get the book. I acknowledge. I retrieve the book from my bag. Some chocolate as well. Oh, the chocolate scene. This is gonna be interesting. I have some chocolate as well, I say to myself. It's a bag of small chocolate candies. I take it since it'll go well with the tea. Yuri and I then sit against the wall, teacups at our sides. As if in sync, we assume the same reading position as last time, each holding one half of the book. Except this time, our bodies are even closer to each other. I can't see too well, Yuri explains. My eyes widen in shock. Yuri slides closer until our shoulders are touching. How am I supposed to focus reading like this? Yuri was always kind of cute, but when she's being less apprehensive, it's almost more than I can handle. Your teacup, Yuri says as she hands the cup to me. Holding it with my hand that's not holding the book, I end up in a position that makes it even harder to focus, because now I need to worry about making sure I don't accidentally touch her chest. Meanwhile, Yuri hasn't noticed a single thing. She wears her intense reading expression, and I can only presume the world around her has faded away. I use all of my willpower to focus on reading. There's a silence. After a few minutes, I finally manage to relax a little. I put the teacup between my legs and fumble with the chocolate wrapper. Sorry, I apologize. I briefly let go of the book to finish opening the wrapper. You can have as much as you want, I offer up. That's okay. I won't take any, she meekly responds. Are you sure? I ask. Well, if I touch it, then I might get smudges on the page, Yuri says worriedly. You're right, I reply. I didn't even think about that, I say with a shake of my head. My bad. No need to apologize, Yuri coquettishly smiles at me. I'll hold the book, okay? Are you sure, I ask? Of course, she says with a demure grin. Yuri opens the book with both hands. She holds it so I don't have any harder of a time reading from it. But as a result, her left arm is practically resting on top of my leg. Well, in that case, I say, Yuri's already totally focused on reading again. I take a chocolate candy and pop it into my mouth. Then I take another chocolate, and I hold it up to Yuri. She doesn't even look away from the book. She simply parts her lips as if this situation was completely natural. But that means I can't stop here. I apprehensively place the chocolate in her mouth. Just like that, Yuri closes her lips over it. Uh-huh? She mutters as she looks at me. Yuri's expression suddenly breaks. Did I just... She begins to stutter. Yuri looks at me like she needs to confirm what just happened. She continues to ramble and stutter a bit. Sushikura... Sorry, I exclaim, embarrassed. I guess I shouldn't have done that, I say, turning a bright shade of red. Yuri mutters again in response. She starts to breathe heavily. I can't... Sushikura. Suddenly, Yuri forcefully grabs my arm and jerks me to my feet. This didn't happen the first time. Suddenly, Yuri forcefully grabs my arm and jerks me to my feet. My teacup gets knocked over. Sushikura. My heart. What the fuck? She locks us in the closet? Or she drags us into the closet and closes the door, I guess? My heart. My heart won't stop pounding, Sushikura. I can't calm down. I can't focus on anything anymore. Can you feel it, Sushikura? Yuri suddenly presses my hand against her chin. Oh, okay.
I feel kind of like awkward, like I shouldn't be.
Well, how do you think I feel? I'm trying to voice this character.
My comfort zone is completely out the window.
Your
right now,
comfort zone? How do you think I feel? I'm like.
I can feel you blush on your end.
Yeah, my cheeks are warm again. Anyway, Yuri suddenly presses my hand. Okay, I'm gonna be as sultry as I can.
Free.
No, I'm gonna take it to the full, to the max as much as I can. So here we go.
Jesus.
Here we go. Here we go. Okay, Yuri suddenly presses my hand against her chest. What the fuck? Why is this happening to me? She asks as I can feel the thundering, the pounding beneath her ribs in her chest. I feel like I'm losing my mind, she continues. I can't make it stop. I can feel every breath, her eyes widened as they look into mine. It even makes me not want to read. I just want to look at you. Ah! What the fuck? What the hell is that?
Oh, she's looking alright.
What the shit, man?
It's gonna wear your skin, run, bro, run.
Right? Those aren't her eyes.
Jesus Christ. I can't. I think you should find a new, pursue someone else.
Well,
Somebody else psycho on you.
well, anyway, Yuri breathes. What the hell? There's no... Ah!
Asthmatic.
I don't know what the hell noise that is. That's the weirdest fucking shit. Monica says as she suddenly opens a closet door, forcing the light to spill into the room. It's time to share our poems, she says. Who should I show my poem? Okay, let's do these poems. Alright, so I'm gonna do to the end of the day and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Yeah, so anyway, fuck it. Oh, I'm gonna keep on that path. Fuck it. I'm gonna keep quote unquote pursuing her, see where that goes. So I'm gonna show her the poem first.
Okay.
I've been waiting for this. Yuri eagerly greets me as I walk to her. Let's see what you've written for today. She's silent as she takes my poem.
How does he have time to write a poem today when he would choose, like, they're stuck in a closet together and reading?
Well, rewrite them at night.
Okay.
Don't make her go all crazy eyes on us again.
I'm just saying.
You know what she kind of reminds me of? You ever seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes.
Like when Eddie Valiant opens the door and he thinks it's Jessica Rabbit, and it's got like her outline, and she turns, my man. She kind of went that crazy. Come to Nina. She went Nina on us for a while.
Yeah.
Anyway, Yuri stares at the poem with a surprised expression on her face. Do you like it? I ask humbly. Sushikura, she whispers. This one might be even better than yesterday's. How did you even pick up on this so quickly? Just yesterday I was telling you the kind of techniques worth practicing. Maybe that's why, I shrug. You did a good job explaining. I really wanted to try giving it more imagery. Yuri visibly swallows. She averts her gaze as she goes back to her trademark fidgeting with her hair. Even her hands appear sweaty. She stutters under her breath. That makes me so happy, she says as she blushes a bright rosy hue. It's so amazing to feel like I'm valued, Sushikura, she says, beaming a toothy grin at me. Everything that you write is a treasure to me. My heart pounds just holding it, she says, as she exhales. She giggles a little. I want to write a poem about this feeling. Is that bad, Sushikura? She asks, as her gaze returns to me, somewhat worried and expectant of a response. I'm not being weird, right? I'm having a harder time than usual at concealing my emotions. I'm kind of embarrassed. She blushes a little. But right now, I just want you to read my poem too. Okay? Anyone want to read this, or shall I?
You
Go
can read
ahead.
it.
Go ahead. Alright, it's a long one, so let's see. Wheel. A rotating wheel, turning an axle, grinding, boat head, linear gearbox, falling sky, 7 holy stakes, a docked ship, a portal to another world, a thin rope tied to a thick rope, a torn harness, parabolic gearbox, expanding universe, time controlled by slipping cogwheels, existence of God, swimming with open water in all directions, drowning, a prayer written in blood, a prayer written in time, devouring snakes with human eyes, a thread connecting all living human eyes, a kaleidoscope of holy stakes, exponential gearbox, a sky of exploding stars, God disproving the existence of God, a wheel rotating in 6 dimensions, 40 gears, and a ticking clock, a clock that ticks, 1 second for every rotation of the planet, a clock that ticks 40 times every time it ticks every second time, a boat head of holy stakes tied to the existence of a docked ship to another world, a kaleidoscope of blood written in clocks, a time-devouring prayer connecting a sky of 40 gears and open human eyes in all directions, breathing gearbox, breathing boat head, breathing ship, breathing portal, breathing snakes, breathing God, breathing blood, breathing holy stakes, breathing human eyes, breathing time, breathing prayer, breathing sky, breathing wheel.
Holy shit.
What?
That's one. It's super long,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like deep, like morbid.
Admit it. You love my delivery.
That last part, though, when you're like breathing blood, like
Yeah.
the whole breathing part, I'm like,
Where are my applause and roses? Like, people should be showering roses on me. You're like,
um, wrong people you're asking from, bro.
anyway. Yuri chuckles a little. It doesn't really matter what it's about, she offers up. My mind has been a little hyperactive lately, so I had to take it out on your pin, she says, with a bead of sweat running down her cheek. That is, a pen fell out of your backpack yesterday, so I took it home for safekeeping, and I it just, I just really like the way that it writes, so I wrote this poem with it, she says, looking at me, and now you're touching it. She giggles again as a smile creeps back onto her face. I'm okay, she exclaims. What did I just... A grimace grows in place of the smile. She looks away, silent, embarrassed. Can we pretend this conversation never happened? She asks, blushing. You can keep the poem, though. What the hell? All right, let's do Natsuki. Natsuki's silent. She's grinding her teeth a little bit. Yeah, just as I thought, she mutters through her teeth. I simply look on with a questioning look in my eye. Sushikura, come on, she begins to grouse. I'm not stupid. I know how much time you've been spending with Yuri. It's obvious that you care more about impressing her than trying to improve your writing. To put it bluntly, it's kind of pathetic, she snickers at me. Why are you even in this club, Sushikura? Honestly, she says with a judgmental tone, I thought getting a new member would help everyone get more involved together, not exclude each other even more. This is such a stupid activity anyway, she sneers. Look, I'm not in a good mood today, and I just really don't feel like talking right now, she says, averting her gaze. Please, go away, she dismisses me. Well, how about that? There's only one person left to show the poem to. I turn to Monica. Sushikura, I think you saw something earlier that you weren't supposed to see. No, that's not happy. Sushikura, I think you saw something earlier that you weren't supposed to see, she says with a uncharacteristic look in her eyes. I didn't want to have to tell you this, but I don't think I have a choice. It's getting kind of dangerous for you to spend so much time with Yuri, she says with a sigh. I don't know why, but she seems pretty easily excitable when she's around you. Which shouldn't be a problem in itself, but when Yuri gets too excited, she finds a place to hide and starts cutting herself with a pocket knife. Isn't that kind of messed up? She says as a smile unexpectedly creeps into her face. She even brings a different one to school every day, like she has a collection or something. Whoa, okay, that's gotta be a red flag, bringing knives to school? That's pretty relaxed freaking school.
I'm telling you, she's gonna use those knives she brings to cut off your skin and start wearing them, man.
Wow.
Run!
Thanks for that poignant image. Anyway.
I'm just saying. You've seen her eyes.
Which ones? Because she seems to have a few different sets of eyes, and some that seem to be interchangeable, as they seem to kind of float off with a mind of their own.
She has a special brand of eyes, and there's
a
video I'm gonna show you.
No. 1-800-CONTACTS. They don't have my brand. I have special ones. Look with your special eyes. My brand.
That was the video I was talking
Yes, I
about.
know. So they made it to me. I wonder if they've memed that with this. My brand. I could probably animate that using,
Please
like.
Do.
No,
Please.
it's not.
Interpret that into one of these videos.
It's a lot of work. We're kind of, sort of. Anyway, I'll see. Anyway.
But it would go perfect with, especially the way her eyes are like, kind of stretching out.
Yeah, I saw. Continuing on. Anyway. She even brings a different one to school every day, like she has a collection or something. I mean, it's definitely not because she's depressed or anything like that, Monica exclaims, trying to... making me unsure whether or not she's trying to convince her more than me. I think she just gets some kind of high from it. It might even be like a sexual thing, Monica says, as a bead of sweat once more grows on her own cheek. But the point is, you've kind of been enabling her, she seems to chide me a bit. I'm not saying it's your fault, though, but I guess that's why I had to explain it all to you. So, I think if you keep your distance, that would probably be best for her, she says, smiling humbly. While you're at it, don't be shy to spend a little more time with me, she says, leaning into me with her hands coquettishly behind her back. To put it lightly, I at least have it together in the head, and I know how to treat my club members. But anyway, you want to read my poem now? I like the way this one turned out, so I hope you do too. Alright, should I read this, or anybody want to do this?
I mean, I can go ahead and read it.
It's up to you. If you want. You want to do it?
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
it just popped up on my screen.
Oh, okay,
right
no,
now.
that's fine. I didn't know if you wanted to or not.
Yeah, I'll do it. Save me. The colors, they won't. Bright, beautiful color. Bright, beautiful. I guess that's color.
It looks like she's missing a few words here and there, a few letters here and there on some of the words.
Right. So I'm just gonna read them how they're supposed to.
Yeah.
Okay. Flashing, expanding, piercing, red, green, blue. An endless. What?
Cacophony.
Cacophony, okay. Of meaningless noise. The noise, it won't stop. Violent, grating. Yeah, I can't read that. I'll let you finish it.
Waveforms.
Okay, waveforms.
Squeaking.
Squeaking, screeching, piercing. Yeah, you can go ahead and finish it.
You want me to finish it?
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Let me try. I'm gonna try from the beginning. Let's see.
Yeah.
Save me. The colors, they won't. Bright, beautiful colors. Flashing, expanding, piercing. Red, green, blue. An endless cacophony of meaningless noise. The noise, it won't stop. Violent, grating waveforms. Squeaking, screeching, piercing. Sine, cosine, tangent. Like playing a chalkboard on a turntable. Like playing a knife on a breathing ribcage. Endless poem of meaningless. Delete her. Oh my god, delete her. What the hell? Okay. How much you want to bet? $5 says that once I click back, the poem of the suicide is going to be on the back. Alright, anyway.
Maybe Monica's next.
Never mind. That's going to be Yuri. Basically, she's telling me that if I keep pursuing her, she keeps cutting herself, eventually going to kill herself. But the last time, I'm gonna continue, because the last time, in an attempt to avert Sayori's suicide, I tried to comfort her and all that, and I only drove her further to it. So I'm gonna do the opposite of, I don't know, we'll see, whatever. Anyway, sorry, I know it's kind of abstract. Monica shrugs. I'm just trying to well, never mind. She sighs. There's no point in explaining. Anyway. Here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes you'll find yourself facing a difficult decision. When that happens, don't forget to save your game. You never know when... Who am I talking to? She asks as she looks around the room. Can you hear me? Tell me you can hear me. She says as she's looking right at me. Anything. Please help me. What is gonna happen when I click this? You guys see this? Please help me.
Hold on, I'm seeing where I'm at. It's like, tell me you can hear me, so it's catching up.
Yeah, I don't think she's talking to.
She's talking to me.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm gonna try to help her.
Freaky.
That's my advice for today, she says, with her exuberant grin returning to her face. Thanks for listening. You have unlocked a special poem. Oh, these are fun. These are fun. You have unlocked a special poem. Would you like to read it? Sure. I'm gonna read this as well. Let's see. A dream.
As soon as it comes up.
I was staying over at my friend's place. There were 4 of us. I drifted off to sleep while everyone was talking and watching TV. In my dream, I was still at my friend's house. The only difference was that there were nails sticking out of the walls everywhere, and there was also someone I didn't recognize. The person I didn't recognize told a joke and everyone laughed. I woke up to the sound of everyone laughing at something that happened on the TV, so the laughing was not part of the dream. It was the noise that woke me up. I wonder who that person was, and how they knew to tell a joke at that moment. Well, at least that wasn't creepy. Okay, everyone, Monica exclaimed. We're all done reading each other's poems, right? We have something we need to go over today, so if everyone come sit at the front of the room. Is this about the festival? Natsuki grumbled. Well, sort of, Monica smiled. Do we really have to do something for the festival? It's not like we can put together anything good in just a few days. We'll just end up embarrassing ourselves instead of getting any new members. That's a concern of mine as well, Yuri chimed in. I don't really do well with last-minute preparations. Don't worry so much, Monica pleaded, or assured. We're going to keep it simple, okay? Look, I know everyone's been a little more lively ever since Sushikura joined, and we started with some club activities, she continued. But this isn't the time for us to become complacent. We still only have 4 members, and the festival is our only real chance to find more, you know? What's so great about getting members anyway, Natsuki grumbled. We already have enough people to be considered an official club. More members will just mean everything gets noisier and more difficult to manage. Natsuki, Monika chided, I don't think you're looking at it the right way at all. Don't you want to share your passion with as many people as you possibly can? To inspire them to find the same feelings that brought you here in the first place, she says, beaming a smile. The literature club should be a place where people can express themselves like they can't do anywhere else. It should be a place so intimate that you never want to leave. I know you feel that way too. I know we all do, she exclaimed. So that's why we should work hard to put something together for the festival, even if it's something small. Right, Sushikura? She says, expectantly looking at me. I stutter as I begin to respond. Oh, come on, Natsuki grouses again. You can't take advantage of Sushikura to agree with you just because he doesn't know how to say no to anything. Look, Monika, Natsuki seemingly begins to get heated up. Do you really think any of us here joined the club with other people in mind? Yuri never even talked until Sushikura joined. As for me, I just like it better here than I do at home. And Sushikura isn't even passionate about literature in the first place. And that's everyone. Sorry, but you're really the only one who's interested in finding new members, she chided. The rest of us are fine just like this. I know you're president and all, but you should really consider our opinions for once. Monika's taken aback, silent. She's Monika's clearly taken aback by Natsuki's words. That's not true at all, Monika says with a shake of her head and a coquettish smile. I'm sure Yuri and Sushikura want to get more members too. Right? She says as she looks over at me. Yuri's silent for a moment. As am I. I don't know about Yuri, but I'm kind of indifferent. If I showed as much enthusiasm as Monika wanted, then I would probably be lying. Still, if it's up to me to rescue the situation... I creak out a response. No, Monika, stop me. Natsuki's right, isn't she? This club, it's nothing more than a place for a few people to hang out. Why did I think that everyone here saw it the same way I did, she says, as breathing out a long drawn-out sigh as a depressed timbre overtook her voice. But that doesn't mean that we're against getting new members or anything, I offered up. Sushikura, why did you even join this club? Monika asked me. When were you hoping to get out of it? Well, I say, searching for the right words, it's not really something I can be honest about, is it? In fact, she continues, if I remember, you weren't even given a choice not to join. Monika sits down and stares at her desk. What's the point of all this anyway, she says dejectedly. What if starting this club was a mistake? I'm taken aback in silence, not sure what to say. Now you've done it, Natsuki, Yuri chides. What, me? Natsuki grouses. I just spoke my mind. Is it a crime to be honest? It's not about being honest, Yuri replies. It's about word choice. Besides, you have no rights to speak for everyone else in the club like that. You don't understand at all, Natsuki exclaimed angrily. I just want a place that feels nice to hang out with a few friends, she says, turning away and crossing her arms. Is there a problem with the club being that for me? There aren't many other places like that for me. And now Monika wants to take that away from me. She's not taking anything away, I say. No, Sushikura, she snaps back. It's not the same. It won't be the same with the direction she wants to take it. If I wanted that, then I could have just joined any other stupid club. But this one... She turns away, her tone suddenly softened a bit. I mean, at least for a little bit of time, things were nice. Natsuki starts packing up her things. I'm going home, she offers, or she admits. I feel like I don't belong here right now. Natsuki, Yuri chimes in. Natsuki ignores Yuri and walks right out of the classroom. Yuri's silent as she watches her leave. This is bad, she sighs. I don't know what to do. Well, I begin. Do you have an opinion on the festival? I don't know, she says. I'm kind of indifferent, I guess. What the hell? Who cares about that obnoxious brat? Sorry if I killed anyone's ears. That's what came up.
And she's all pixelated.
Yeah, she's all glitchy. I mean, I like how nice and quiet this club is right now. And I'm just happy with you here. But still, she exclaims, I'm the vice president. It's not right for me to ignore my responsibilities like that. Nobody would cry if she killed herself. What the fuck? Did you see that? Did you see that?
No, not yet. There's a delay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, now I see that. Are you sure you still want to pursue her? And her blood.
Yeah, that's exactly. Well, I'm pretty sure that anyone that I pick is gonna happen something freaky. So I'm gonna go through. I'm not gonna waffle on it. I'm gonna stare the course. My mind keeps flashing with imagery of twisted, strange things that I'm not used to. But every time I snap back to reality, I see Yuri standing before me. I should do my best to consider everyone's perspective and make the decision that's right for the club, she continues. But what about you, Sushikura? She asks me. What did you want to get out of this club? Yuri repeats the same question as Monica. I decide giving an indirect answer is better than nothing. I think the most important thing is for everyone to get along, I offer up, and for the club to provide something that you can't get anywhere else. I don't think it's about how many members, but rather the quality of each member. That's what will end up making the literature club a special place. I see, she says. A demure smile seems to grow on her lips. I really agree with you, she says. Each member contributes their own qualities in a special way. With each... What the hell? Look at her eye! Did you look at her eye? I don't know if you managed to see it. It was...
Oh, the blood.
Yeah.
I would get that fixed if I were her.
Yeah. With each change in members, the identity of the club as a whole will change too, she says. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. My mind seems to be playing tricks on me, as for a moment it seems like tears of blood were streaming from her eyes, but then as I look, I see no trickles, I see no tracks of those tears, I see no stains on the floor or on her clothing. I shake my head trying... What? I'm trying to put it in perspective as much as I can as a story. I'm a narrator here.
Oh,
so
Michael's
bad.
watching.
Yeah, Mr. Coffee's watching.
I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Stepping out of your comfort zone for once in a while. So, if you would like to help Monica with the festival, then I'm on your side as well, she says. Alright, I say, trying to snap myself back into reality and ignore the craziness inside my head. Well, maybe we can all talk to Natsuki tomorrow, I offer up. Yuri nods in agreement. Hey, Yuri? Monica chimes in. She asks. You can cut the emote with a knife in this game, I did see that. I know things were a little awkward yesterday, Monica replies, but I feel like you deserve to know that I still think you're a wonderful vice president. And also, a wonderful friend, she says as as her lips curl into a smile. Monica, Yuri replies, beaming an equally eager smile. I want to do everything I can to make this the best club ever. Okay? Me too, Yuri agrees. Yeah. Let's all go home for today. We'll talk about the festival tomorrow. Okay, Yuri acknowledges. I look forward to it. Shall we go, Sushikura? She asks as she turns to me. Monica interjects. Please, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm going to chat a little bit with Sushikura before we leave. Just to see what he thinks of his time here and all that.
Maybe you can avoid the closet this time.
It's important to me as president. Yuri's silent for a moment. Her smile has faded into dejection. She looks a little troubled, but she doesn't protest. Okay, she meekly offers up. I trust your judgment, Monica. In that case, I'll see the two of you tomorrow. Yuri flashes one last smile at me before dismissing herself. See you tomorrow, Monica replies. Monica waves as Yuri exits the classroom. Whew, Monica breathes a sigh. Things have been a little hectic lately, haven't they? She asks of me. Sushikura, I just wanted to make sure you're enjoying your time at this club. I would really hate to see you unhappy. I feel kind of like I'm responsible.
I feel that ship has considerably sailed, Monica.
Well,
Sailed.
she's considerably failed? Look at
Failed.
the screen is growing dark. Anyway, I feel like I'm kind of responsible for that as president, she continues. And I really do care about you, you know? I don't like seeing the other girls give you a hard time, she says. With how mean Natsuki is and everything, she says that her tone begins to grow a little deadpan. And Yuri being a little bit, you know... She chuckles a little as she leans into me. Sometimes it feels like you and I are the only real people here.
Oh,
You know what?
Dun, dun.
You know what I mean? But it's weird because in all the time you've been here, we've hardly gotten to spend any time together. Her gaze is dead, empty. She looks deep into my eyes, but there's nothing reflected back. I mean, she continues.
Doesn't she have a boyfriend?
It's been alluded to, but nothing has been confirmed.
This hussy. Okay.
Anyway, I've said that I think this there's some more to this chick. She's either behind it, she's orchestrating it, she's the fucking architect of the Matrix. She knows something. She's the programmer. She's something. I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe she's the psycho and we're all a schizophrenic fantasy. Like, maybe the storyline is that none of us are here. She's imagined us all. We're all voices in her head. There's definitely more to her. She couldn't make her fantasy work the first time. She thought up these three friends. Things didn't work. One of them ended up killing themselves. So she's starting over.
Maybe she's taking out the competition.
Let's just continue and see where it goes.
Anyway, my theory, here's my theory is that we're all a schizophrenic fantasy. She's dejected, alone, she hasn't fit in school, so she's made up her own fantasy, but it failed to work. The first time it failed, so she just rebooted everything and erased Sayori.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
I know.
I would say
let's continue.
Think a bit outside.
Isn't that outside? I mean, I don't. Well, anyway, continuing on. I guess it's technically only been a couple of days. Sorry, I didn't mean to say something weird. She offers up with a nervous laugh. There are just some things I've been hoping to talk about with you. Things I know only you could understand. So that's why. Wait, not yet. No. Back to the poem.
It's almost like the game didn't have that conversation planned with her.
Well, it's 10 o'clock. I've been doing about 2-hour stream, so I think now's a good wrapping point. Let me go.
Thursday.
Yep. For anybody who is here, I'm going to finish this game. God damn it. And the next stream will be Thursday night. Basically, I've been doing this Thursday and Saturday nights at about 8 o'clock. So the next stream will be Thursday night for this game in particular. There may be other streams. I know Obs has been doing some PS4 streams himself. Val, I don't know if you're going to do any streaming at any point, but you're more than welcome to. But as far as the stream for this game goes, you can expect it to resume Thursday at 8 o'clock will be the next one. And then we'll do it again on Saturday at 8 o'clock. But for now, we are done. I'm going to make sure to save this one more time. I don't even know if my saves have anything to or have any bearings since all my other saves got deleted. But anyway, I'm going to call it here. Y'all have a good night. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch y'all later.